What's interesting about Google is that those two guys who created that are two of the smartest young men in the whole country.
We were their customer very early on with GEICO. We were paying them $10 or $11 a click or something like that. And anytime you're paying somebody 10 or 11 bucks every time somebody just punches a little thing where you've got no cost at all, that's a good business unless somebody's going to take it away from you.
We can see in our own operations how well that Google advertising was working. And we just sat there sucking our thumbs.
When he says sucking our thumbs, I'm just glad he didn't use some other example.
You've never seen a business, almost never seen a business like it, but I blew it.
We avoided the tech stocks because we felt we had no advantage there and other people did. I think that's a good idea, not to play where the other people are better. But if you ask me in retrospect, what was our worst mistake in the tech field? I think we were smart enough to figure out Google. Those ads worked so much better in the early days than anything else. So I would say that we failed you there. And we were smart enough to do it and didn't do it.
We were their customer very early on with GEICO, for example, and we were paying them $10 or $11 a click or something like that. And anytime you're paying somebody 10 or 11 bucks every time somebody just punches a little thing where you've got no cost at all, that's a good business unless somebody's going to take it away from you. So we were close up seeing the impact of that. You've never seen a business, almost never seen a business like it, and I think for LASIK surgery and things like that, I think the figures were 60 or 70 bucks a click with no incremental, no cost. So, and I knew the guys. I mean, they actually designed their prospectus. They came to see me, and they a little bit after the original one when they went public, a little bit after Berkshire even. And so I had plenty of ways to ask questions or anything of the sort, educate myself, but I blew it.
Warren and I are a little older than some people. And
damn near everybody.
And we're not the most flexible, probably, in the whole world. And of course, if something as extreme as this internet development happens and you don't catch it, why, other people are going to blow by you. And I don't mind not having caught Amazon early. The guy is kind of a miracle worker. It's very peculiar. I give myself a pass on that. But I feel like a horse's ass for not identifying Google better. I think Warren feels the same way.
Yeah.
We screwed up.
He's saying we blew it. And we did have some insights into that because we were using them at GEICO and we were seeing the results produced, and we saw that we were paying $10 a click or whatever it might have been for something that had a marginal cost of them of exactly zero, and we saw it was working for us. So
we can see in our own operations how well that Google advertising was working, and we just sat there sucking our thumbs.
Right.
So we're ashamed. We atone. We're trying to atone. Maybe Apple was atonement.
When he says sucking our thumbs, I'm just glad he didn't use some other example.
Another stock that you mentioned over the weekend saying you should have known it early on was Google, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, because you knew how much they could charge you when it came to GEICO.
Yeah, here we were at GEICO paying them $10 or something for every click. I mean, $10, and no cost of goods sold. I mean, and it produced results for us. That's why we paid them the money. I had seen the product work, and I knew the kind of margins. I mean, I always said it's great to find something that costs a penny and sells for $1 and is habit forming. This doesn't cost anything, and it's very useful. I mean, if you're looking up auto insurance on GEICO, you've got an interest in auto insurance. I mean, it's a very directed way of talking to people. So the real question in my mind, I'd seen Alta Vista before. I used to play bridge on Alta Vista and that. And what I didn't know was whether there'd be more entrants. I didn't know enough about technology to know whether this really was the one that would stop the competitive race and all that. I should have done Google too.
But most of the world does not in any way imitate Berkshire Hathaway. This is a quirky few. There may be 19,500 of you that came, but it's still a quirky few by the standards of the country. And what's interesting about Google is that those two guys who created that are two of the smartest young men in the whole country. And it's much more fun to be copied by people that smart than
We even
than
think
by
they
the
were smarter
general-
than we thought they were last week.
Yeah, we now think they're a lot smarter. Yeah.
I know the fellows that run Google pretty well, and we do a lot of business with them at GEICO. We buy a lot of keywords from them. It's not hard to see that Google is a phenomenal company, but Google is valued at about $200 billion in the market now. So to make 14% a year, Google has to be valued at $400 billion in 5 years. It may very well be. It may be valued at $500 or $600 billion, but I'm not smart enough to figure that out. They have in tech, you get change, and the question is who is the best at predicting change? And I'm not really very good at that. I will predict that Tech will do wonderfully over time, but it will do modifications of what it's doing now, but the basic situation will be the same, and they will be delivering a superior product. There are all kinds of people that would love to take away Google's business from them. They're going to have a tough time doing it. But I can't make a better prediction about whether that will happen.
I should have had some insight into, because GEICO was a heavy user very early on. So here we saw value in something at that time. I have no idea what we're paying per click now, but we were paying $10 or $11 a click for something that had no cost of goods sold, and we were going to keep doing it. I mean, we could see that. So I should have had more insight into that. Now, whether Bing was going to come along or other people were going to take away the market, that's another question. Whether you had sort of a first user advantage that would prevail. And there is a lot of technology to it. So somebody could have come along with a better technological product, and I would not have had any insights into that. I certainly had insights into the benefit to the user. I think Blazer Surgeon or something like that, I think it may have sold for $60 or $70 or something of the sort. And mesothelioma, I mean, I don't know what it brings now, but just imagine having something every time you just hit a click, the cash register rung somewhere out in California. So it was and is an extraordinary business, and it has some aspects of a natural monopoly. I mean, it's very easy for me when I go to the computer. I've worked with Google before, but I'm looking for information for the annual report. I used to have to mail away to federal agencies or go down to the public library, and now I can get it in 10 seconds. So it's a hugely valuable device, which the other guy pays for. The user on the computer doesn't. Yeah, the answer is we missed it. And I knew the fellows. They came to see me before they did.
Sergey and Larry came to see you.
Yeah, and actually Eric did too.
And Eric.
Yeah. I liked them.
I'm very pleased that the fellows at Google decided, and they say I think they used the word inspired by the Berkshire Owner's Manual, and it obviously pleases us enormously that other people think that it's a good idea to talk to their owners, or in their case their prospective owners, in a very straightforward manner. If you buy into Google, having read their owner's manual, I think you'll know the kind of people you're associating with. You'll know what they will do and won't do. It's the kind of thing that one person would say to another if you were setting up a partnership, and you said, I'd like you to join me in a partnership. I need your money, and here's the way we're going to do business. And I think more companies, obviously, I think more companies ought to do it. It's been simple for us at Berkshire. We've had these principles in mind for a long time, and we really want people to understand those principles before they join with us. And the Google fellows, in a very straightforward manner, I liked their prose. Doesn't mean I agree with every idea they have, but I do know what ideas they do have, and I hope more companies sign on for that sort of thing.